Hello and welcome back. I'm Joseph Hoffman. Today, we're learning how to play a piece called Melody for Left Hand by a composer named Ludwig Schutte. His last name kind of sounds like how you would say scooter if you were German. Franz, stop riding your scooter and come in for some sauerkraut. Put away your scooter. As you probably guessed from the title of the piece, it's the left hand that gets to play the melody this time. Let's listen to the piece. Let's check out the score for Melody for Left Hand. As with any new song, first we want to check out our clefs. No surprises there, treble and bass clef. Now let's check out our key signature, 1 sharp. And that sharp is an F sharp, which puts us, looks like from this first chord, we've got a G major chord. So that tells us we're in the key of G major. What's our time signature? That's right, we've got 2/4. That tells us we'll have 2 beats per measure. And our tempo indication is moderato, telling us we'll be at a medium speed for this song. Now we've got something interesting going on with the dynamics. Wow, we're piano and mezzo forte at the same time. Well, you'll see that the piano is kind of near these right-hand notes, and that's telling us we're going to play these right-hand chords piano. The left hand we will be playing mezzo forte, and that's because the left hand has the melody. So let's check out that melody. We've got a short phrase here. Notice this phrase mark, which tells us that these notes all belong together in one idea. Ba, 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 ba. That's the first short phrase. Then we have ba, 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 ba. Another short phrase. And then we have this long phrase. Ba, 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 ba. Rest. So short phrase, followed by one long phrase. Now, let's analyze the rhythm. We've got this dotted quarter note, and you'll recall that a dotted quarter note equals 1.5 beats. So how we would count that is we need to give it 1 and that is a full beat, and then it gets half of beat 2 with this 8th note getting the other half of beat 2, which is this and of 2. So we have 1 and 2 and. This 8th note comes right on the and of 2, and then we have 1 and 2 and. Now, what I'd like you to do is press pause, and with your own sheet music, which you can download and print from our website, I'd like you to write in the counts for both of these lines. Write in the 1 and 2 and just use a plus sign for the and make sure they line up. You can kind of use the right hand as a guide because your right hand is giving you all the 8th notes, which is the same as this 1 and 2 and. So make sure it lines up nicely and write in the counts for both of the first 2 lines. Press pause and do that, and then press play when you're ready to go on. Okay, here's what you should have gotten for your writing in the counts. Now we're going to practice this rhythm. Will you count the beat out loud, say 1 and 2 and with me, while you tap the rhythm of the left hand here? Okay, I'll point where we are and tap along with you. Let's start right here. I'll count 1 and 2 and to get us started. Here we go. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2 and. Nice job. Okay, last thing I'd like to do before we try playing this is going through and finding all the Fs. Because our key signature shows us that all the Fs have to be sharp, it'd be nice to circle those like this F right here so we're ready for them. They don't catch us off guard because we're going to have to sharp this F. Can you find any other Fs on this first line and point to it? If you pointed right here, you're correct. So let's circle that one. And you can do this in your music too, so you don't forget to sharp those. And how about on this line? Do you see any Fs? I might have given it away, but it's right here. Great. Now, we're ready to try playing it. Looking at the first note that the left hand has to play, can you tell me what note it starts on? Use the letter name. If you said G, you're correct. And it's a little bit below middle C. So this will be our G, measuring from this middle C. And you'll notice that it starts on a finger 1. So I'm going to place my finger 1 on G. And I might want to have my finger 2 ready on that F sharp because all Fs are automatically F sharp because of our key signature. Now, look at this first phrase. We have bum, 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 bum. Now, can you tell me what is different about the second phrase? Find the one note that's different in this second phrase. If you're pointing to that last note of the phrase, you're correct. This phrase is different, except this time instead of going down a fourth, we only go down a third. So we have G, F sharp, G, D, down a fourth in the first phrase, then G, F sharp, G, E. All together with counting, it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and... Now, press pause and try those two phrases on your own, then press play to go on. Now, let's look at the next phrase. Is it the same or different? The first three notes are the same, 1 and 2 and 1 and, but here's where it changes. Can you figure out what interval from this G to that next note? What interval do you see? It's the interval of a sixth. Remember, we count intervals starting with the first note as 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down to that B. G, B, and then it steps up, steps up. So the third phrase of the song, which is on the second line, is we have 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. You'll notice that half note, this half note is tied to that next quarter note, and then we have a rest. So all together, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. Now press pause and try that phrase on your own, then press play when you're ready to go on. Good, now putting all three of those phrases together, we get 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2 and. Good, now press pause and try putting all of that together and then press play when you're ready to go on. Now let's check out lines 3 and 4. What can you tell me about line 3 of Melody for Left Hand? Yeah, you probably notice it's the same as line 1, except I notice one difference. It's a very small difference. Can you find it? It's actually not even any of the notes themselves. It's the dynamics. This time, instead of mezzo forte for the left hand, we're playing forte. So a slight but important difference to note. Now what about line 4? Is this the same as line 2 or different? Yeah, it's quite different. So let's check out how to play line 4 on the piano. Okay, now looking at this last phrase, can you tell me the interval between these first two notes? You might have recognized this from before. It's another interval of a sixth from this G down to the B, the distance of 6 notes. So you have a sixth down, but you'll notice this time it's suggesting a finger 4 in the music. Now if that's too big of a stretch, you could use a finger 5, but then when you get to this C, you'll definitely want to use a finger 3, and then you'll see a C sharp. So you're going to bring finger 2 up to C sharp, and then finger 1 plays D. So you'll notice we have all these notes just a half step in a row. We have G, B, C, C sharp, D, bum, 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 bum. Sounds kind of cool. Bum, ba, da, da, da. Now, I'd like you to press pause and just practice those 5 notes. G, B, C, C sharp, D. Then press play when you're ready to go on. Good, and then once you make it to that D with finger 1, now your finger 2 is going to shift off of the C sharp down to C, and your hand will naturally fall into this G major pentascale, and you'll have 2, 4, 5. You'll step down to C, then skip down to A, then step down to G. So putting that all together, we have. Now press pause and try that entire last phrase on your own, then press play when you're ready to go on. Now I'm going to demonstrate playing the left hand all the way through, and I'm going to be turning on my metronome at about 132 beats per minute. And this is to demonstrate how I'd like you to practice this. I'd like you to use a metronome so you can feel those eighth notes pulsing, and this is what your right hand really is going to be playing. The right hand plays these repeated chords, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. But before we add in your right hand, we'll use the metronome to kind of give you that pulse. So here's the left hand. I'd like you to count out loud while you practice. If you're ready to try this along with me, you can, or you can just listen. Here's melody for left hand all the way through with metronome at 132. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 2 and 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. 1 and 2 and. Great job learning the left-hand part of melody for left hand. Once you feel like you know the notes, I recommend practicing with a metronome. Set it to about 130 beats per minute as the eighth note pulse. When you can do that with no missed notes, gradually increase the speed to about 180 beats per minute. And at that point, you're probably ready to add the right hand in our next lesson. As always, happy practicing and see you at our next lesson. Quiet please, I'm practicing my scooter. Scooter. Vroom, 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 well, auf Wiedersehen then. Vroom, vroom.